There we go, blonde one. Be careful who you threaten over the internet because you can get played back. And make sure you're not so mentally lazy that you think coming out of London is in the hood. It takes 56 to 57 hours if you're just walking from London to where I am. If you was to be walking, I mean, good luck with that because you'd be on the main road walking and there are no footpaths. So a lot of that way. Uh, yeah, you're a fucking idiot. You really are fucking dumb. An American branded dumb. No education whatsoever or what you're threatening. And you're going threatening anyway. It's like, oh, I can't, you say I never get out my front door or what? But I heard all that because it's true, is it? And I'm heading your way. Well, you was in London. You claimed. You. Ugh, ugh, fucking idiot. Right. You dumb as fuck. Gonna mention a bit more about the room. Ceiling joist. If you're putting up paneling, you can get these devices to find your ceiling joist studs and a beep at you. You could actually go around with a strong magnet and it'll connect to the ceiling joist studs. Cheaper. Um, if you go up into your attic as well, you could discern. You make sure you measure properly before you come back down again. No, you don't like guess where the joists are relative to your room because some people's spatial awareness. Mine's pretty good. I've known people with poor spatial awareness. They see something in one. They go up in the attic, perhaps they see where joists are, come down, and they assume, oh, it must be that one then, but they be off by a good measure. But that's all right. Everybody's got different variations on how they process things. But those ceiling joists, say, find a strong stud with a strong magnet and go along with this to screw in along. If you find a straight line of these studs, that's where the beam is going to be, right? Also, the thicker beams. If you look at the ceiling, I don't know if you could see it actually on here. Maybe you could just see it. I don't know. How do I put? If I put my hand, it's difficult to do. There, can you see a straight line there on the ceiling? Just where the tips of my fingers are. That is a pressure point where the joists are above the ceiling in the attic, pushing, bulging the ceiling a little bit. That's where you could screw in right across here quite easily. And this is a small sample of this fluting kind of stuff I'm going to be putting on. I've ordered some. Before we get to stuff, though, I've ordered how to put this on the ceiling because I'm going to be using glue, but I'm going to be using these screws as well. These are 3.5 times 38 millimeter. It's a box of 200 screws. I have a power screwdriver as well, so these are a bit of pressure and put this in. And these bite in a very sharp, steep angle and very sharp to cutting through. This will even screw through thin metal brackets. That in the middle of the ceiling, I took off the light. You get this cable coming down. You got the light fixture. I've never really liked the long cable and the bulb at the end of these pendulum fixtures. They're tacky, and I think I've said in a previous video, people buy lampshades to make it look less tacky, but it just doesn't. To me, it doesn't work. I'd rather it not be there. But if I can eventually save enough LED lighting, go between these, and I'll be using that outlet there. If I get the wiring right, I need to undo that and put it up through the attic, rewire it in the attic, put down two main wires attached to LED lighting this way, still be able to use the wall switch on the wall for that lighting, and it'll be snuggled in between these. I got tube lighting and be in between these slots. So I've got some work to do, and it's going to be a little bit awkward here and there. That'll be the most awkward bit, fiddly perhaps, and make sure I rewire it properly on the other end, because I don't want it looping like a two-way switch. And there's options here that could turn things into two-way switch, but there's one switch here. I don't want to be switching this on or off and another switch somewhere else being switched that could still switch this on or off. Like, you can do that in a UK household. I'm not sure how it is in other houses, probably similar across the world. Is things are daisy chained across different circuits. This lighting system, this light will be daisy chained to a light in the next bedroom. That doesn't mean if I switch this one on, it switches the next bedroom one on, because it's the circuit is broken by the switch on the wall, right? But less to complete by switching it on by the wall, of course. So to get the daisy chain and everything still intact, it would need to be wired up properly the same way. Once I pull those wires back up through, it's a circular plastic piece with the wires plugged in, and either far end you have a neutral and a neutral and a live to come down to light up your bulb. I took that off yesterday. It's too hot to fiddle about with things at the moment, and I'm still waiting on that glue anyway. The glue it should come today. It is out for delivery. Let me see. It's in Bristol in the UK at the moment, so that's not too far away actually. It was in Bristol at 6 minutes past 11 a.m. So what I've ordered is, if you've ever used any Gorilla Glue or anything like that, this grabs virtually anything Gorilla Glue. Heavy duty grab adhesive. This will grab quite tight within 10 to 15 minutes, but it will curate properly over 48 hours. So just to back up the grabbing and making sure it stays firm, I'll still be going through with the screws just to secure it on the ceiling until then. What's holding it then after that isn't just screws, is mainly isn't the screws really, of mainly the glue. So these will be like securers, because I'm not going to be like holding it up for 10, 20 minutes just for it to grab and then let go, and then it's just going to get arm ache, right? So hopefully that'll be done. If you're wiring in the UK, old household, with these wires, like if I look up here, these cables are kind of the almost black and red wiring. There is a yellow and green wiring there, but in some other parts of the building, it's got the old colouring wiring. Just as the new colouring was coming in, this building was being built. This is why it's a bit of a split personality with this building. So you're gonna get if you wire in the UK, you'll get cabling that is the more modern one, which has been out for, I don't know, a long time, a good many years. I say modern, but this is not a recent. But the older you're building, the more likelihood you might not have this color set. This is what you should have. Is the live is the you got neutral earth and live. So that brown one in the middle, it might look a little bit red to you. It's a reddish brown. That is the live. The yellow and green is the earth. The blue is the neutral. So keep that in mind. Transition over. So you have things like your positive earth is you might get just a green wire, or what you should be having now today is a green and yellow stripe, spiraled stripe. The neutral, old wire, old colouring, the neutral was black. Now neutral is blue. Old wiring, the live would be brown. So earth, yellow and green, neutral, blue, live, the brown colouring. So you get black, red, and sometimes you get just a plain green one for the earth in the old colouring, right? Black and red. Yeah. So just to recap, your black would be your neutral, your red would be your live, your green would be earth, if you have one there. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say. This maybe I'll document some of this going up. I can see where there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 main and big beams there. You can just see a tiny sort of a dip, a deformity, perhaps a bulge in the ceiling there. Is, if you look carefully, you can make it out. Like again, you could probably make it out a little bit on this. Just can't do it. Just there, where the tips of my fingers are going that line on the ceiling. You can see, hopefully you can see that. And yeah, and in between, going this the other way, in between, you can find the ceiling studs with a strong magnet where this is joined up anyway. So I have two across here. There would be one going this way, this sort of the long, this is the length of the building, but the long ways of the paneling going this way. So it would be two this way, across, and another two, and another two right across the length of the room. So they'd be going its long ways across the width of the room, and then we'll have the long ways of the room with panels going just like where above the sofa is and the back corner there. So that will take, let me see, probably 3 or 2 and a bit. I might need to saw one short. That's where it can be a bit difficult. I mean, you can cut it; it's fine, but you got to be accurate with it. You got to take your time and make sure the accuracy is there. Accuracy is more important than just rushing and getting it up right. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I look forward to doing the next video. So, some future video, you're going to be seeing some results of that. Cheers. Bye.